Wrestling and romance, two words that should be a lot more separated than they currently are. Did WWE really need to give us both Mike and Maria Kanellis' fiascos and the whole Rusev, Lana, Bobby, Liv cluster of a storyline in the same year? Well, thank God not all of wrestling's notable romancers are flaunted off on screen and kept to the realm of kayfabe. I'm D Wicket, and here's 10 real-life WWE couples that just might shock you. Number 10, Bray Wyatt and JoJo Offerman. Someone is f***ing the Fiend. It had to be said. I dare to question if that mask has made a bedroom appearance, and God forbid it makes Bray as unstoppable as he was at Hell in a Cell. Bray actually came into quite a heap of controversy a few years back when his now ex-wife outed his affair with WWE ring announcer JoJo Offerman, typically known as just JoJo, or that girl so stacked in the back she literally balanced a box of Bootios in the most appropriate of places. While the situation was a tad bit messy, the air seems to have cleared, and this odd pairing now finds themselves happily married with a son just under the age of 1. A son who doesn't only have Bray Wyatt as a father, but also Braun Strowman as a godfather. Jesus Christ, this kid could rule humanity.
Hey, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
That's amazing, you just announced.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my lord.
That seems sneaky. Number 9, Batista and Dana Brooke. While Dana's past entries on these kind of lists would feature her short-term fling with fellow bodacious blondie Dolph Ziggler, it looks like Dana has moved on from the show-off and moved on to greener, more galaxy-guarding pastures. If you've kept up with the wrestling Twitter, first off, you poor bastard. Second off, you know that these two have been exceptionally flirty with each other over the past few months. Back and forths include Dana's oh-so-subtle complimenting of that marvelous hunk of a destroyer and Batista's invitation to help Dana train at his personal gym. This one's just oh so damn sexual.
You know, just standing around with my arms up. I see you've been getting those squats in.
I mean, I do work out. You know a good gym?
Number 8, Vince and Linda McMahon. Listen, dude, these two are still married? How? And why? And also how? Did I ask why yet? I'm sure there's like a deep connection between these two, and I truly do kid when I'm asking those questions. But no, seriously, how? Vince McMahon has involved himself in storylines with no less than a dozen female roster members, all essentially models that Vince himself hired into the company, and these are storylines involving some of the worst things an old man with power could possibly be doing. Plus, if you know just all the weird little quirks of Vince McMahon behind the scenes, like you're telling me Linda's never sneezed in bed and he just, okay, get the f*** out. On the real, I really thought that they split up in like 2006. I'm truly baffled. I was baffled in the research of this video. Linda stuck with Vince through his beating God power trip. That is loyalty.
Oh no, my God. I can't believe Mr. McMahon is groping.
Number 7, Paige and Alberto Del Rio. Okay, fine, they're not dating anymore. You caught me red-handed with them in the air. But listen, there really aren't that many truly shocking couples when it comes to the wrestling business these days. At least ones you either haven't heard of or ones I can't put some kind of creative spin on. Paige and Del Rio, though, now that was a very entertaining hot mess and a half. The pairing came together almost immediately once Del Rio returned to the company in 2015, and things sure as hell escalated alright. Within just a few months, Paige had already gotten a poppy tattoo for Del Rio, followed up literally with the name Alberto just under her chest, and by October of 2016, the two were engaged. Just under a year later, and they'd be split up and moving on from each other, with Paige moving on to some rock star and Del Rio moving on to being really mad at WWE for a long time. But man, I love weird little tidbits like this, especially those tattoos.
I thought he looked incredible, and then he got like a haircut, and I was like, oh, I like your haircut, puppy. And then one night it just like we hung out and it just happened. I was like, oh my God.
Number 6, Sarah Logan and Erik. No, not Eric Bischoff, although I'm sure that's a Vince level swerve that he'd love to book himself into. I'm talking about Erik of the Viking Raiders, formerly known as Ro, aka the smaller one who doesn't do the world's most bullshit somersault. The real-life Viking fanatic happened to find himself a fellow lover of the expedition days in Sarah Logan, a talented yet likely forever unnoticed member of the Raw Women's Division. Seriously, she's been on there for 2 years already. Did you know that? Did you even realize she's in the Women's Elimination Chamber next pissing week? Well, if any one man did, it's Erik, the man who took Sarah's hand in marriage at a literal Viking-themed wedding, and no, I am not kidding.
I swear!
I swear.
And you are husband and wife!
Number 5, Edge and Beth Phoenix. These two longtime lovebirds make the list for 2 reasons. 1, against all odds and any possible predictions, both Beth Phoenix and Edge wrestled over the last year despite them each retiring very early on in the 2010s. Basically a decade out of action for each of them. Edge, notably with a brutal case of the neck no works no mores.
Because the MRI showed that I have to retire.
For a pair of wrestlers who were so adamantly out of professional wrestling, the fact that they might still each put in their dues again in this decade is baffling, yet kind of awesome for each of them. And the second reason is, dude, just watch NXT Beth. She clearly wants to bone Fandango. You better watch out, Edge.
I want to thank my husband, Adam.
Number 4, Brock Lesnar and Sable. Every time I used to think about this pairing, I would just sort of chuckle, because it always just seemed so left field to me. But you know what? The more I really try to delve into the minds and personality of these two, it actually starts really adding up. Sable just might have become the biggest attraction of the entire Attitude Era based on her body alone, with absolutely nothing else in terms of charisma or talking ability or promos, none of that. Similarly, Brock Lesnar was brought in for his physique and athletic ability despite not being able to compel with a microphone to save his hunting cabin. A pair of entertainers brought into the company to entertain with everything except their personalities. It all just sort of adds up to me.
I mean, Lesnar survived 60 minutes with Olympic gold medalist named Kurt Angle. Not only did Lesnar survive, he won the match and won that chip.
Number 3, John Moxley and Renee Young. Yeah, obviously, okay? Hit me as hard as you want in the comments section. You already knew this one, I know. That does not stop Mox Young from being the most fascinating couple in the industry today. John Moxley is, as of recording this, prepping for his very likely win of the AEW World Championship at Revolution, which would actually make him a double champion across 2 of the biggest promotions in the world, seeing as he's also holding on to New Japan's United States Championship as we speak. Renee Young is currently busy across the true Forbidden Sea over at WWE, where she's occasionally on commentary, a special contributor to SmackDown, and host of WWE Backstage. Just like they joked about recently, they are literally the most widespread power couple in all of wrestling right now, with revenue streams coming in from WWE, AEW, New Japan, Fox, plus all of their side projects. That is a power couple.
That is great to have.
It's not that big of a deal.
Number 2, Andrade and Charlotte. If you needed to point out a strictly WWE power couple in the making though, look no further than this entry. A pair of wrestlers with last names that don't even need saying because they're just that damn good, despite Andrade's recent suspension due to missing his doctor and subsequently failing a wellness policy. He's been having one hell of a main roster push ever since, well, him and Charlotte started to kick things off. I'm not at all implying that he's getting pushed due to being with the double digits women's champion Flair daughter. I'm sure it's not hurting, but Charlotte's actually been helping Andrade a lot when it comes to both speaking English and learning the behind-the-scenes ropes to WWE. And with her help, he's reportedly become one of the most likable roster members backstage, especially with Vince himself. So don't be surprised if this power couple goes ahead and takes the damn company over throughout the next few years.
I love seeing your guys' social media posts. You guys are so adorable.
Which one? Which one post? Which one post?
And number 1, The Undertaker, and Michelle McCool, because the thought of Spooks making lightning appear out of my hands having a real-life wife will never be normal to me. I don't care how many years I go on knowing that these two are married. Undertaker will literally have to retire and be out of action for 5+ years before I start seeing him as a regular, normal man. And even then, I'm still probably going to find this one pretty weird. Hey, bless Michelle, though. If you've noticed, Undertaker's been looking pretty damn good recently, probably better than he has in the last decade. It's apparently due to her dietary influences, as well as a little motivation for this potential AJ Styles WrestleMania matchup that's up on the horizon. Boy, I'd like to see that a couple of times, huh? That's a pretty good segue to the outro. Those are 10 of WWE's more shocking couples. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and notifications.